Avenue, and then we'll take it higher.
Booyah, and it's time for the Game Sports Show, the Twin Sault's only local, regional, and national sports show. It's your host, David McCaig, and I'm here live from Northern Superior Brewing Company inside the tap room. And I'm here joined by one of my co-hosts, Justin Hykel, and I'm going to get Justin in just a few moments. Going to get through the usual introduction portion of the show. It is April the 13th, 2019, and we're here on a Saturday from Northern Superior Brewing Company, a weird Saturday scheduled show. As it's been definitely a change in schedule throughout the entire week of the show. We had our show Monday from the Wicked Sister. We had to cancel our show Tuesday from the Icebreaker Sports Bar and Grill. We'll be back this upcoming week. We had to do the show at 7 o'clock from Sports Center on Wednesday, which is different from our usual 9 o'clock. And then obviously Thursday we rescheduled until today here from Northern Superior Brewing Company due to all the local events going on in terms of the Greyhounds, the Thunderbirds, also with the Mayor's Cup going on as well for yours truly. A lot of schedule changes. Despite all that, we're very appreciative of all the listeners' patience with and all the tolerance with our schedule changes this past week, and also even the past couple months doing a lot of alterations. But we have an action-packed show as always here tonight, and we're going to get into a lot of local discussion when it comes to the hockey scene with the Sault Thunderbirds and the Sault Ste. Marie Greyhounds, and I'm even going to give you a little bit of a plug-in for the Masters. Yes. We're going to dive into the Masters a little bit. Now, going into the second part of the show, we're going to talk about the National Hockey League playoffs, and then we're going to get into some baseball news as well before we conclude tonight's show. We got about 45 minutes here tonight, potentially an hour depending on the time constraints. So if you're here listening to the show on the website, don't hesitate to veer over to the Podbean page and follow the show, or if you're listening to us through any of the other websites, you can go to our social media pages at The Game Sports Show and at The Game Sports Show SSM respectively for Facebook and Instagram. And you could follow us on there as well. Speaking of following us on the social media pages, if you follow us, you may have the opportunity to see a post for some contest giveaways. I want to give a shout out to Jen Mallet, who patiently waited for yours truly here today. I was about 20 minutes late showing up, as I had a commitment this morning to show up to. But she was our Facebook contest giveaway. She won a $25 gift certificate from Northern Superior Brewing Company, courtesy of the Game Sports Show. She won a pizza from Sports Center Bar and Grill, and also she got a little care package from the Superior Pro Shop, which was a Toronto Maple Leafs hat. And how perfect for that, that maybe one of her kids or her husband or herself can wear that. The Leafs are currently in the playoffs against the Boston Bruins, playing in Game 2 tonight here. But we're going to get to talking some NHL news in the second part of the show, as I mentioned. But again, congratulations to Jen Mallet on winning that Facebook contest. We're going to have a lot of Facebook contest giveaways as well as Instagram giveaways. And I'm going to get into the Instagram giveaway right now. As you could see on our Instagram page, that we had a contest giveaway there as well for a $25 gift certificate to Northern Superior Brewing Company, a large pizza from Sports Center Bar and Grill, and also another care package from the Superior Pro Shop, which will include a $30 skate sharpening card. It's going to be going to Kyle Labby, was the winner of that. So I'll be meeting Kyle on the weekend, next weekend, to give him that respective prize. But we'll be doing a lot of contest giveaways, and don't forget, I haven't forgotten as well on my end, that we're going to have a bonus draw, and we're going to be doing that bonus draw this week. I'm not going to give away what that prize is, but to everybody who went into the draws for the Instagram and Facebook giveaway for this previous contest will be entered into that draw. Anybody else who's inquiring on being entered into that draw, it'll have to be on the next one. So anyone who is entered into the Facebook and Instagram draw, you will be entered in the draw to win the bonus draw prize, courtesy of the Game Sports Show. Now, after I'm done recording the show, I'll give a little plug here to a friend of mine, Levi, and to the Zorzits, that their Impression.co clothing line. Now, they aren't an official sponsor here on the show, but I'm going to be giving them some promotion. And we're working together on a lot of different things. Impression.co has their brand launch today at Discover the Canvas with Katrina Thibodeau. Discover the Canvas, obviously a sponsor of the Game Sports Show. They have their brand launch till 5 p.m. today. And if you end up missing the event, don't hesitate to look on Instagram for Impression.co. They have some great clothing there. They also have a lot of good different hoodies. They have different kind of products they can do for you. And in touch with that, you'll be in Discover the Canvas, which means maybe you can book a tattoo. Get a nice tattoo from Katrina Thibodeau. I want to give a little shout out to Impression.co on the Game Sports Show. I like how that rhymes. Without further ado, let's bring in, though, Justin Hykel, one of my good friends, co-host. Curiously looking through his phone, looking very professional today here from Northern Superior Brewing Company. Justin, How you doing, my friend?
Cautiously optimistic, Dave. Leafs pulling out a big win the other night. Greyhounds pulling off some big wins this week. And Thunderbirds going into a big game tonight. So, big hockey week.
Big hockey week. Lots of things locally going on here in Sault Ontario. And I must give a shout out to Scott Nason, whom is going to be our board operator tonight, who does a lot of coverage on the American side and here in Sault Ontario and a lot of work for the Game Sports Show. So, Scotty, so thank you to you there. But, Justin, we're going to dive right into it, okay? We're talking about the local hockey scene first, and we're going to jump into talking about the Sault Thunderbirds, okay? Now, they defeated the Rayside Balfour Canadians in 6 games. It was 3-2 when they won on Monday, April the 8th. So they are in action tonight at the John Rhodes Community Center at 7 o'clock against Hurst, which is Saturday, as I mentioned, April the 13th, 7 o'clock at the John Rhodes Community Center. Tomorrow, they are also at the John Rhodes Community Center at 5 o'clock. Now, everyone's wondering why the Hounds play. Listen, you can still go to the Thunderbird game, then you can veer right over to the Gardens and make it for the Hound game. The reason why they have the game at 5 o'clock is because of that. It's pretty basic. Yeah, maybe some games go a little bit longer, but at least get there, purchase the tickets, get in and support the Thunderbirds. They're in the finals against Hurst in the NOJHL. The finals. Very exciting team that John Parko and Trevor Zachary and the boys have there with the Sault Thunderbirds. They have a chance to win the NOJHL title against Hurst. Now, they play here for those 2 games, tonight and tomorrow, 7 and 5 o'clock respectively. They go to Hurst Wednesday and Thursday, which they play there at 7. If necessary, they return home on Sunday. That'll be Saturday, April the 20th. Sorry, I thought the 20th was a Sunday for some reason. Saturday, April the 20th at 7 o'clock. But we hope to have John Parko on the show on Tuesday. We're trying to figure that out or even do a pre-recording previous after the 2 games this weekend. The Game Sports Show will be in attendance this weekend at all local games between the Thunderbirds and Hounds. The Hounds are going to get to very shortly here as they forced a Game 6 here at home on Sunday. Lots of good reaction, though, Justin, with the Thunderbirds getting to the NOJHL final. They defeated Rayside, a little bit of redemption from last year. They have a very exciting hockey team to watch. A lot of expectations with the Thunderbird team, especially going into the finals. You know, they win the regular season title. You win the division title. You know, now they want to go for the main goal, which is to win the NOJHL title for their chance to go to the Dudley Hewitt Cup. And these guys were 2012 and 2015 Dudley Hewitt champs, and also the NOJHL playoff champions 2012, 2015, 2016 in the last recent years. So they've had a successful. They've been in a couple years since they've won it, though. And the Thunderbirds want to get back to getting that success and win and get to the Dudley Hewitt Cup, which is the Central Canada Junior A Championship. A lot of expectations for the boys.
There are a lot of expectations, but I think with the way the team's played all through this season and the way John and the rest of the coaching staff has them going, I don't think that it's a lofty expectation. I really do think that they've been playing good hockey. This series with Hurst is going to be a battle for them. Hurst has been a tough matchup all season. And, especially playing games in Hurst, it's a pretty intimidating environment compared to what you're used to seeing here in the Sault and at the roads. But I think we'll see what they're made of tonight, and we'll see what the series is going to look like.
See, I think that the Thunderbirds have a opportunity here against a team that is not weak in Hurst. Obviously, the Thunderbirds are the favorites going into the series, but against Hurst, okay, a hard-working team that finishes their checks, the Thunderbirds are a skilled speed team. Okay, a very skilled speed team. But I will say, just right out loud right now, that the tickets are very affordable for games. John Rhodes is actually a good environment to watch games. People may disagree, and hopefully that they do have an alteration in environment eventually, but we don't have to get to that right now. The Thunderbirds right now are in the finals. Get out and support them. John Rhodes Community Center tonight and tomorrow, like I said, before the Hounds. And speaking of the Hounds, jumping right into it now, Justin, the Sault Ste. Greyhounds were down 0-3 to the Saginaw Spirit, a very, very good hockey team in Saginaw. Now, as we posted plenty of times on the Game Sports Show Instagram page following the Sault Ste. Greyhounds back with bite, Little hashtag back with bite. The next game is on Sunday, which is tomorrow at 7:07. Saginaw lead the series 3-2. The Hounds won both their previous games in pretty good fashion. 3-0. Villalta's been sharp, and 6-2. And the big reason why, Justin, is yes, they've had some good offensive output from a lot of their top guns on the offensive side of the puck, but they also, Villalta has made some big saves. The last game in 60 minutes, over 40 saves last night. He that shutout that was previously here at home. We said this at the beginning of the show, before they started the series against Saginaw, that it is imperative that Matthew Villalta is able to steal games for this Hound team, because they have the offense to do it, but so does Saginaw. Saginaw has defense, so do the Hounds. It's going to come down to Villalta being able to make that first and potentially second save, and then up to that good decor to get the third shot out of the way. So with the Hounds right now riding full momentum to come home, can the Hounds do this and complete this comeback?
I don't. In my head, I want to say yeah, but it's definitely going to depend. Like you said, Villalta's got to steal. He's got to keep standing on his head. We got to score in bunches. I don't know. Saginaw has been a tough matchup. I guess the Hounds have played their best when they've had their backs up against the wall, though. And we've seen how good this team can play. So, going into the game tomorrow, we're backs up against the wall. We got to steal another one. And I think it's doable. I really do. But, we're going to have to pile it on. As much as Don Cherry's probably going to lay into us afterwards, you got to run that score up and kind of break them down, just like they did to you, the previous weekend.
Yeah. And Saginaw will not stop, so the Hounds can't stop. Morgan Frost had a hat trick last game. Friend of the show, Andy Frost, who we had on the show earlier in the year. Morgan Frost getting 3 goals, and he also got an assist. You have Keegan Hoddishell, who's been playing really well. Yarmir Pitlick, who's been playing pretty well as well. Barrett Hayton yesterday had 2 helpers in the victory against Saginaw. And one name that really sticks out to me, and I'm loving this acquisition, is Jaden Pekka. It's really working out. That is one of those guys that can be like a Nazem Kadri to the Toronto Maple Leafs, that pivotal point in that offense that can put up offensive numbers and have a strong two-way presence on the ice. And Jaden Pekka got 2 goals yesterday. All right, now Matthew Villalta, okay, as I mentioned, 41 saves. You know how many shots the Hounds had? 22. They almost got doubled in shots, which is unacceptable. But hey, it's the recipe to the Maple Leafs' success. You have a strong goaltender that can stop the puck, make that first and second save. You depend on your decor to get the puck out of there. And heck, Toronto, sometimes you need to make the third save on the Toronto Maple Leafs defense. So I know it's the OHL and NHL comparison here right now, but the Hounds have that offensive talent on the tipping end of their thing, but they have good defense with Hollowell. You have Sambrook. You have some good guys back there. And there's some good young guys coming up, like Ryan O'Rourke and everything, especially. But speaking of the guys who are currently active into the series and playing lots, one thing that really stuck out to me was the power play success. And the face-offs, Saginaw had them edged in face-offs. It was 0-4 on the power play was Saginaw. 1-1 was the Hounds capitalizing. So the Hounds had a strong penalty kill, and they had a good, strong presence on the power play. So for them to win at home, they have the home crowd that's going to be behind them. Hopefully they sell out that arena. I imagine we'll have a lot of people at the rink tomorrow at the GFL Memorial Gardens. You're looking for some good hockey, especially this weekend. You said it yourself off air. Thunderbirds tonight, Thunderbirds tomorrow, and Hounds locally. If you want to go live, you can watch them both. Hockey TV on the Thunderbirds. You can shop for the Thunderbirds or for the Sioux Greyhounds. They also have a lot of professional sports going on. Like today, we have the Blue Jays this afternoon. We have the Raptors at 5. Then you have the Leafs at 8. It's amazing. Lots of sports this weekend. So if anyone says there's nothing to do or you don't ever get together with your friends, I don't know what else to tell you. I would just give up all hope. So the Thunderbirds and Greyhounds. Thunderbirds hoping to start the series off right tonight. The Greyhounds hoping to continue the series against Saginaw. And if they can win, Justin, the Hounds could pull off Game 6. Do you think they are winning Game 7? Putting you on the spot.
If it goes to a Game 7, I 100% think they can win it. I mean, you've gone that far. That's, yeah. if a team's got you up against the wall 3-0 and all they got to do is win one to take the series and they let you back 3 games, then I don't see why the Hounds can't push them, take that 4th one, and win the series, especially given the bad blood between the two teams.
Oh, a lot of bad blood. Saginaw was hungry for the Hounds, and it's unfortunate that they got themselves in this predicament. But sometimes, when your back's up against the wall, you can make things interesting, and the Hounds are certainly doing that. Good luck to the Thunderbirds and also the Greyhounds this weekend here, as we are expecting some big results from both teams. No pressure, boys. Just got to win. Moving on from the hockey side, quick, 2 little points I want to get to. A Masters update that I want to get to that Justin is probably very excited for me to talk about here with the Masters quickly. Tiger Woods, who is getting set to tee off in approximately 25 minutes here, the Masters that we have here from the Northern Superior Brewery tap room, as Blake Winter puts on the Masters immediately. Like that. The Masters, obviously the biggest tournament of the year for golf, essentially. Tiger Woods is having a very strong showing right now, 2nd place. There's a really big logjam for 2nd place there in 1st place for the Masters tournament right now. Seeing Tiger Woods in that top area, I love seeing that. The guy wants to get another jacket. Can Tiger Woods, Justin, keep this up for the entire tournament, do you feel? Do you feel that he is on a level right now that he can regain and win the Masters championship? Or do you got guys like Day and some of the younger guys that are just that more, maybe, I don't want to say younger is a good thing in golf, because it really isn't, but Tigers have had a lot going on, and to see him be this successful so far in the Masters, it's just great to see in general.
I mean, it's definitely a good story to see how successful he's been thus far in the Masters. We'll see how he plays today after rolling his ankle yesterday, and see how that goes going forward. But it would be a really cool story just to see him pull it off. I mean, I'm not a huge fan or payer attention of golf, but I mean, if Tiger pulls it off again, I'm interested. That's always a way to get me to pay attention to the golf stat line on the Sports Center.
And it's just some good media talk for the boys here on the Gage Sports Show and throughout the entirety of the media. Now, the next point I wanted to get to was baseball in Sault, Ontario. Everyone's like, what? Look outside. I don't see any sign of baseball coming around, and you're right. I signed up to play in my hardball baseball league again. And so we have some new teams this year from Michigan. We have a team from the States coming up in Sault, Michigan, sorry. And we also have another team from local. We have we're going to probably have approximately 6 or 7 teams in the league this year, which is amazing. I love that. I love to see that. But you can sign up if you want to play men's open, if you're older or if you're younger. The registration has been opened up on the baseball website here locally, so you can reach out and get all signed up for that. And the Sault Minor Baseball is on Facebook as well. You can jump in on that to get all signed up and registered. The early bird sign up is by Monday. $180. It goes up to $195 if you do not sign up by Monday, April the 15th. Just saying. Now, speaking of the local thing, before we go to break, I almost forgot. I guess I do have one more point. The Mayor's Cup at Sault Ste. Marie, Ontario. Now, the boys on the Game Sports Show team have been heckling me as I didn't really get into full dissection about the tournament. Last night, the Game Sports Show Mayor's Open team ended up dropping to 2-1-1, opposed to being 2-0-1 after a very competitive game against Mr. Transmission. The Game Sports Show was up 3-2 with approximately a couple minutes left in the game, and the Game Sports Show had Mr. T had 10 power plays to the Game Sports Show's 0, and Mr. T was able to capitalize on one of those power plays, and that power play goal was the one that decided the game as Mr. T walked away with a 4-3 win near the end. I promised I'd give a dissection about it. There's my mini dissection with Mayor's Cup, but it's been a very competitive tournament, I must say. But a lot of men's league BS going on. I've had a friend, Darren Rainville, who I actually talked to at Roadhouse last night as I went there for some burgers and a beer to celebrate my girlfriend's exams being completed. She's a big fan of the Roadhouse burgers. And we went with a group of us, and Darren Rainville was telling me that he actually separated his shoulder. We've had some injuries in this tournament. We've had a lot of competitiveness, and I love that. I do love it. it makes me feel like I'm young again, all that. But we also have jobs in men's league. When it gets a little bit carried away, I'm really hoping that the refs can control the game. And yesterday they were not really able to control the game. I felt in our game, especially with the penalty difference, there's a lot of stuff behind the scenes that the ref missed. But again, I'm not complaining that's why we lost. I know a lot of guys in Mr. T, and I love all those guys over there. I'm not saying that they didn't deserve to win. They won the game. They won the game, but I'm not talking about that. I'm going to just say right now what I'm hoping for is just some better overall officiating in general. Like, just when it comes to men's league in general, not just in Sault, Ontario, in the entire province. You're playing men's league, I get it. We're here for beer. I'm there to be with the guys and drink beer, okay, right now, and preferably Northern Superior Brewing products or from beer from Sports Center Bar and Grill. So I'm there for the beer and the fun. Yes, of course, I'd like to win the Mayors this year. We had a good team, but there's also some other good competitive teams, and whatever happens, happens. And last night, Mr. T moved away with the win. And we had a couple guys get kicked out of the game from our team and all that. But, a lot of things are going on back and forth that was missed. But, hey, Mr. T obviously did it smarter than we did. We got caught. They didn't. So, I good on them for doing that. But just like if you played Bucci's or any other team, I feel that when it comes to the extracurricular stuff, which did not happen in yesterday's game I'm talking about here, but in general, some other games of the tournament, there's been some injuries. I think I'm all for the competitiveness, but don't have to finish your check. We don't need to get hip checks. Tie up in the corners, play some speed competitive games. Like the Thunderbirds alumni game. There was no body contact, but that was a hard hockey game. Everyone was going real hard and just grinding along the boards. There was no body checking. When I see body checks in the Mayor's Cup, I know there's some guys that can't turn that switch off if they were fighters in upper pro hockey, but you got to stay composed. Okay, I know that I can't fight any of the guys, and I don't want to fight any of the guys because I'm buddies with all those guys. And I'm not saying Mr. T, I mean any other team. You're there to have fun. And that's what I think in general. I'm not just talking about the Sioux, but yes, I'd like to see some improvement in the Mayor's Cup League when it comes to referees. I imagine Chanis might be messaging me after reading this or hearing this or whatever it may come, or some referees and that, and I apologize. I don't mean to pinpoint you out, but I'm just saying that I want to see the good speed and have you take away from a good hockey game. Last night it was 3-2 lead, and you call those extra penalties, and it decides the game. Yes, again, we got caught. We were undisciplined. Mr. T didn't get caught with some stuff that they did, and we also didn't get caught on some things that we did behind the scenes. But again, refs can control a game. It doesn't matter if it's men's league or the pros or anything of such. They can really impact the momentum in the game. And when it comes to men's league in Sault, Ontario especially, and throughout, I've heard a lot of bad things at Sudbury as well. When it comes to men's league, I heard it's also worse. Even in Sault, Michigan, I heard it's worse, that a lot of things are let go, and I'm friends with a lot of those refs. I need refs to really be composed in these big tournaments so people don't get hurt and people can maintain their composure and they're able to control a hockey game. But speaking of the Mayors, I went a little bit of a rant there. Producer Ghost told me I was supposed to sign off 5 minutes ago for the break. So getting to my wrap-up point, it's been a very competitive tournament, and the semis are next weekend. And a lot of the deciding games will be on Sunday and Monday this upcoming week where the seeding is going to be. Good luck to all the teams that are participating, including obviously the Game Sports Show, which is the team I'm a part of. The Game Sports Show, the Men's Mayors Open in both divisions. Good luck to all the teams going forward. Justin, I got told that I was supposed to do a little local part, especially with the Mayors. We got heckled. I got heckled particularly for not giving a lot of the Game Sports Show team and a lot of the Mayor's Cup a little extra promotion. So how was that, you think?
Well, you were going off in your rant there. I got a second beer, so it was excellent.
Give it a little plug-in about the Mayor's League, but also some refereeing that I'm hoping improves throughout the entirety of men's league in the province, let alone Sault, Ontario. Dave McCaig here, joined from Northern Superior Brewing Company alongside Justin Hykel, and I'm going to enjoy the rest of my beer and maybe get a refill on a second one here from Northern Superior Brewing Company. When we come back, Justin and I will be jumping into the National Hockey League and also a little bit of baseball news to conclude tonight's show. So make sure you don't want to go anywhere, or make sure you don't go anywhere. If you do want to go somewhere, I feel bad for you, but I understand. But preferably don't. You're listening to The Game. Be right back. The Game Sports Show is pleased to shout out a partner, additional home, and sponsor to Northern Superior Brewing Company, located on 50 Pym Street in Sault Ste. Marie, Ontario. Northern Superior Brewing Company having a strong presence locally with many beers to offer. With much involvement in the community of Sault Ste. Marie, Northern has a sport and friendly-like atmosphere within its tap room, and during the summer months, it is a must to visit Pier 55 to enjoy some delicious food, amazing view of the water, and view of the Bush Pulling Museum, right on the cusp of the Hub Trail, and of course, all of that down with a delicious brew from Northern Superior. Northern Superior Brewing Brewing Company. It's a northern thing.
The Game Sports Show would like to thank an additional sponsor and special edition home to the game, Silver Creek Golf Course, located on 104 Bellow Lake Road, Garden River, Ontario. And also shout out thank you to Silver Creek GM Jamie Henderson. Silver Creek Golf Course has many specials to offer for 18 holes, 9 holes, and even Twilight Deal specials. It does not matter what your level of golf game is, it is a must to enjoy the scenic course, memorable experiences that Silver Golf Course offers. Silver Creek also offers a Thursday wing night for you to enjoy food after a stellar time on the course. You can book your tee time by phone or online at golfsilvercreek.com. Silver Creek Golf Course, where all are welcome to play.
The Game Sports Show wants to thank its original home, partner, and sponsor since 2015, Sports Center Bar and Grill, named the Sioux's best sports bar for 3 years in a row. Sports Center Bar and Grill is located on 624 Wellington Street West in Sault Ste. Marie, Ontario. Make sure to come on down to Sports Center to enjoy the great atmosphere with great cold beverages available, including those delicious Molson products. Don't forget about their famous 75-cent wing nights on Wednesdays. They're truly the best wings in town. Like and follow Sports Center on Facebook at Sports Center SSM. We look forward to seeing you today. Sports Center Bar and Grill, the Sioux's best sports bar.
The Wicked Sister, Sault, Michigan. Check TripAdvisor, ranked right towards the top. Awarded the Certificate of Excellence, as well as voted #1 pub in the UP. The Wicked Sister has managed to create a casual menu that offers unique, creative, and sometimes healthy offerings that rivals menu selections of any big city. Burgers and starters, snacks and shareables, soups and salads, sandwiches and tapas. On Ashman Street, Sault, Michigan. Welcome to the Wicked Sister, where you'll be treated like family, whether you like it or not.
The Game Sports Show would like to thank a list of additional sponsors. North Shore Sports and Auto, new location located on 647 McDonald Avenue, Sault Ste. Marie. A family-owned and operated business with doing business in Sault Ste. Marie for over 10 years. Loads of products available for your enjoyment for all seasons. North Shore Sports and Auto, we understand the importance of quality service and products, and we work hard to ensure that all customers have a positive experience before and after each and every sale. North Shore Sports and Auto, meeting all of your new and pre-owned equipment needs. Special thanks to Salon. The Salon, located on 589 2nd Line East, Sault Ste. Marie, Ontario. Owned and operated by Mike Cuglietta. Book your appointment today at 705-941-9191 or via online at https://thesalonsou.as.me-. The Salon, making the Sioux beautiful, one haircut at a time. As well as a shout out to the Superior Pro Shop. The Superior Pro Shop, located inside the Community First Credit Union Superior Arena on 285 Northern Avenue East, Sault Ste. Marie, Ontario. Owned and operated by Jeremy Paquin and ran by Larry Monroe. Superior Pro Shop, for over 40 years, meet all of your skate sharpening, skate repair, and hockey needs. Also to Discover the Canvas. Discover the Canvas, located on 317 Wellington Street West, Sault Ste. Marie, Ontario. A beautiful, new renovated building owned and operated by expert artist and Sioux native Katrina Thibodeau. Katrina taking her talents of the ink in Sault Ste. Marie and truly creating the best and most realistic art locally. Call Katrina today at 705-450-8099 or email her at discoverthecanvas@gmail.com to book your tattoo or consultation today.
Hi, this is Joe Bowen, and you're listening to the Game Sports Show from Sault Ste. Marie.
Welcome back to the Game Sports Show, the Twin Sault's only local, regional, and a national sports show here from the tap room at Northern Superior Brewing Company, where it's a northern thing. Love Northern Superior's atmosphere here tonight. They got a band going on. They got lots of customers coming in and out here, seeing the Game Sports Show here on a Saturday. If you ever want to come to the tap room, it's a great atmosphere. Great, obviously, beer. There's a lot of taps on option. Now, Justin, how good is your second beer there?
Fantastic, Dave. Definitely fantastic. Hey.
As the owner, the chief rolls into Northern Superior and sees us going right now. Now, Justin, the beer is absolutely delicious. Make sure you come on down to the tap room here from Northern Superior Brewing Company. We got lots to talk about here, and I went a little bit overtime on the first part of the show. We got about 20 minutes left here on the show at most to cover in our 45 to an hour long show that we are aiming for here tonight. NHL. We're going to start right off the hop with Toronto. I think that's fair that we start with Toronto. Toronto plays tonight at 8 o'clock in Boston. By the time the show's uploaded, we do have it planned. If you're not hearing it live, that when it's uploaded tonight, you may hear it tomorrow. But either way, Game 2 is tonight in Boston. What a big win for Toronto that first game. Anderson was absolute stud. The whole team was great. Everyone, even down to Nikita Zaitsev. Okay, everyone was on fire. Jake Gardner even had a good hockey game. Okay. Right now, Mitch Marner, that penalty shot was the pivotal point of that hockey game. He scores on that. We said that inside my apartment when Dane and I were watching it. Dane, who is not here tonight, who is going to be here another week, though. It seems like he will have some more shows to do with us. But we were watching it. That would have been the turning point. If Marner wouldn't have scored that would have changed the outlook of the game, in my opinion. That could have changed the momentum. Rask feels the puck. He gets a little excited. Things change. Trevor Moore absolutely knocks Zdeno Chara on his ass, which is fantastic. I didn't see that. No one saw that on TV until things were uploaded on the internet. Trevor Moore, 5'10", Chara 6'9". Okay, it doesn't matter how big you are. You got the heart and your work ethic. You're going to get the job done. Justin, how excited were you, and how excited are you going into Game 2 now, seeing what Toronto can do as it gets a little bit louder here at Northern Superior Brewing Company? So you might have to get a little bit louder on the mic.
I mean, it was nice to see the Leafs finally play a physical game. It looked to me like they'd kind of beat the Bruins at their own game there, combined with the speed that the Leafs, have become known for all this season. But definitely the physicality, especially from Trevor Moore. Seeing Connor Brown on the fourth line, like having 4 complete lines and throughout that game was really, really nice to see too. It's tough to focus too much on the good. I'm a nervous fan walking on eggshells here. We need to keep winning, keep the good stuff going, and go from there.
It's not getting too anxious or too excited or too ahead of ourselves. Just because we won Game 1 doesn't mean we have to go plan the parade down Yonge Street in Toronto. Tampa Bay, we're going to get to Tampa being down 0-2 to Columbus, which is a familiar sight for Columbus, but we're jumping to that. The big thing, Toronto, the main goal was for Toronto to at least win 1 in Boston. That was big. The last 2 times they played Boston, they haven't been able to win in Boston. First couple, right? They haven't been able to win the first game. This is the first time they won in the opening series since they played the Philadelphia Flyers in 2003. So right now, to have the success of winning that first game gives you that momentum and that belief. Get it? Belief that you can do it. Boston is a good hockey team, but they decided what I thought was Boston's mistake was they sat Backes and Miller. They're physical guys, and they played their speed guys. I don't think Boston can keep up with Toronto's speed. No. And that's where physical is where Boston's going to be successful against Toronto. But Toronto shouldn't try to match Boston's physical game. Just play with that speed, go in the corners, cause penalties, and do what Moore did. Finish your checks. You don't have to match the physical game and be all like that, like Bergeron and all those guys. That's not Toronto's game. Toronto's game is when people are just speed. And that's where Toronto was very successful. Defensive plays were absolutely amazing. Frederik Andersen made those big saves that he had to, and he seems like he's starting to find his form right in the right time. Toronto, if they can pull off a win tonight and go back to Toronto up 2-0, Leaf fans are going to be very excited all around, especially guys in their pants. Sorry, flat out saying that. Everyone's going to be very excited, but we have to maintain composure and know that they're still only up 2-0 if they do win tonight. If they do lose tonight, so be it. That happens. They're able to win 1 in Boston, which was the goal. And Babcock, it seems like he used the lines well. I liked Tavares' game. I was a big fan of Marner's game, obviously, in Anderson. That goes without saying. But I was a big fan of Tavares. I was also a big fan of William Nylander. Really stood out in that game. And I got to give credit to Gardner and Zaitsev. Good job. That's all. Just good job. Please keep that up. And, make sure you guys don't do too much out there. You don't have to. You have enough talent to distribute the puck around. This game, in Game 2, I'm really looking at Kadri and Hyman to really step up here tonight. And because a lot of the physical guys are back in Boston's lineup, it's Hyman and Kadri keeping up with that. Steve McCaig at Northern Superior Brewing Company as it gets real live here in the tap room. So, Justin, we're going to move on from the Toronto Maple Leafs, who are in action at 8 o'clock tonight from the Garden. Do you have any final thoughts with the Bruins and Leafs? No, we're good to move on. We're going to move straight on to Winnipeg and St. Louis. What the fuck is happening, Winnipeg? Jordan Binnington, is that what's happening? Are St. Louis just potentially being the better team right now?
St. Louis has had a better second half of the season, hands down. Probably the best second half of the season of any team in the league, to be completely honest. That's getting a little personal there.
Right up in your grill.
But the Jets, I think they've continued their slump from the back half of the season. The goaltending, I think, from the Jets hasn't been spectacular. Dustin Byfuglien's looked a little old. Laine's been the one that's scored for them, at least in Game 1. I didn't catch a lot of last night's game, but what I did catch, St. Louis was all over them. And like I said, I think St. Louis is just clicking at the right time. The Jets ran into a hot team. It sucks for a friend of the show, Paul Maurice, and the Winnipeg Jets, but St. Louis is looking real good right now.
St. Louis right now is going into the playoffs. Are one of the hottest teams in the National Hockey League. You got a rough matchup there to Winnipeg, but the series is still not done. They have a chance to steal a couple in St. Louis and go back to the whiteout in Winnipeg. And I think Winnipeg does have the better team. They can do it. They just got to believe, and Hollebuck's got to make those big saves. He has some weak goals in. You got to maintain that composure and not have those issues, man. You can't. In the playoffs, you cannot slump. Playoffs is where you work so hard to get there. You got to make sure that you're able to play in the big moments. Just saying right now. Now, the other series is going on. A couple more we're going to dive into. Columbus and Tampa Bay, buddy. Columbus battles back in Game 1 to pull off an OT winner. And then you have yesterday Columbus defeating the Tampa Bay Lightning in regulation. Ooh. Kucherov getting suspended. Officially today announced he is suspended for 1 game. Columbus, they're up 2-0 last year against the eventual Stanley Cup champions, Washington Capitals. Familiar territory. You got to slay the dragon. Remember, the curses come around. The hockey gods are a thing. Sorry to the two people who do not like Don Cherry. Can Columbus pull this off, Justin?
I mean, I've been saying pretty well the second half of the season that Tampa was going to get caught or was open to get caught, especially when they got into the playoffs, just like the old San Jose Sharks. Excuse me. And they haven't looked spectacular. They can't score. Like it all of a sudden seems like Tampa's scoring's dried up. It was like it was too easy all season for them. And now come the playoffs, they can't do it. I mean, Matt Duchene exploded last night. That's the most offense I've seen out of Matt Duchene since probably before he got drafted, to be completely honest. Columbus is looking really good, especially after Torts' speech the other night. Bobrovsky's looking like he wants a contract. Yeah. The Kucherov hit, I personally think it should have been 3 games like Kadri got last year for the exact same hit, but I guess when you're the NHL scoring leader or points leader, however that shook out this year, then you get a little better or preferential treatment by the league, because God forbid the first place, best, highest scoring team in the NHL doesn't make the second round of the playoffs. You got to help them.
Look at that. I like that call out. 5-1 Columbus won. Love it. Love seeing it. Love seeing the underdogs pull out some victories there. Now, other series going on. The Islanders are up on Pittsburgh 2-0. That's a surprise for me. I thought the experience, Robin Leonard and the New York Islanders, the fan base is rocking after having a brutal regular season fan base. The Pittsburgh Penguins are down 2-0 to Long Island.
The Penguins kind of look old. I mean, aside from my boy Phil the Thrill holding it down, Crosby hasn't looked like anything, to be completely honest. The Islanders are a hungry team. They're a very hungry team. I mean, I think the disrespect that they felt throughout the season, that they weren't going to be anything without Tavares, combined with the reemergence of Robin Leonard, which has been a pretty good story, watching him, be 1 year sober now. Splitting the time this season with Thomas Greiss, but those two have identical stat lines. I mean, it doesn't matter what goalie you're putting in, you're getting the exact same performance out of them. And that team seems to play, no different in front of either goalie. So, I mean, it's, as far as the Islanders go, it's a full team effort, and they're, just feeding Pittsburgh. I don't think the Penguins have a hope in hell, to be completely honest, coming out of this series. That the Nassau Coliseum has been crazy for those first 2 games. So, I mean, we'll see what happens coming back to Pittsburgh. I mean, it's the playoffs. It's not over till it's over, but
I'm going to say right now that I'm surprised Islanders, and I never chirped about Tavares going to Toronto. That happens. That's in sports, and I unfortunately am part of the team that took Tavares, and that the Islanders are looking like they don't have they don't have a Crosby. They don't have, they got Barzal. Okay, he's going to be I don't think he's going to be a Crosby, though, all right? But he's a very good hockey player. They have the whole team is deep around. And they're hardworking players.
The Islanders have more clutch players,
They do, and Leonard's been on his head, and so was Kreis when he had to get called to the surface as well. So, the Islanders up 2-0 on Pittsburgh. I tell you right now, Pittsburgh is up against the ropes. Next series we're going to jump into quick. Vegas up tied 1-1. Colin Miller scored a goal last night. Also had a couple penalties. Millsy.
1 or 2.
A couple of Millsy. 5-3 Vegas won after being up 3-0 early. San Jose came back and tied the game after pulling Jones, but Vegas ended up pulling away and tying the series 1-1 as they go back to Vegas, tied 1-1 for sure after San Jose winning the first game. Very good series. Next to the Toronto-Boston series, that series is exciting. There's a lot of old-time hockey, scrums in front of the net. Vegas is I think, an all-around team that's faster, but San Jose is much better. I don't mean this any disrespect into Vegas decor, but when you have Carlson and Burns and the defense that San Jose has, I think they're a bit more top-ended on the defensive side of the puck. Goaltending, Fleury, that experience, I think Vegas going to give the edge there a little bit, especially the way Jones was a little bit shaky yesterday. But again, Vegas going back home, they're looking very good. This is a very exciting series thus far. Washington and Carolina, I think that's the series that everyone predicted would be a quick series, and after watching the first game, it didn't really seem that way. They're up early, but Carolina did battle back. Don't lose hope in Carolina, people. Carolina, I think, has a chance to force series to 6, but Washington is definitely looking like the better team. Now, Dallas-Nashville. Dallas stole the first game. One of the wild card teams are Dallas, and Dallas has a very good hockey team. I have Zuccarello there that's healthy. If Ben Bishop can maintain health and be on his game, that could steal the series against Nashville. Nashville hasn't looked that great since the deadline. They have not. Dallas has looked great, and they have a lot of firepower, and ever since the owner called them out, it seems like Dallas smartened up. So they have a chance to beat Nashville. Will they? I find it difficult that they're going to be able to, but if they can steal 2 in Nashville, maybe I'll be wrong. Calgary and Colorado, Justin. I'll get your comments here quickly. Colorado, Calgary. Calgary leads the series 1-0. Tkachuk looking like a Tkachuk out there for sure, causing problems. You have Mike Smith, who really looks solid. He's been always big in the playoffs. Colorado, though, has a very good young squad there with a lot of their guys with Rantanen and McKinnon. They can definitely have the opportunity to steal one tonight. Calgary can't underestimate these Colorado Avalanche.
I think as long as Mike Smith plays the way Mike Smith played in Game 1, I honestly don't think Colorado stands a chance. I really don't. I mean, Calgary's defense didn't look great in that game, and they still, they put up a shutout. I mean, I'm putting that all on Mike Smith. I'm not putting that on Calgary's defense in that game. Tkachuk was a shit disturber out there. His whole line was on fire. I believe Backlund got a goal too, and Tkachuk had 2. So I think Colorado's in trouble against the Calgary Flames. I think the Flames are going to cruise through that series.
Flames are looking hot, as they would say. Now, Toronto-Boston tonight, going to be very excited. If you ever want to watch a game, make sure you come out to the tap room here at Northern Superior Brewing Company, where they have a band as well going on, or to Sports Center Bar and Grill to watch a game there as well. There's going to be always on the TV. Playoff hockey is here. But someone who is not in the playoffs, Connor McDavid, suffered a PCL tear in his left knee, but he will not need surgery, which is a good thing for the Oilers. McDavid thought it was broken. He got second and third opinions, but it seems like he will be all set for next season, which is a sigh of relief for Oilers fans, especially if your name is Dane Hanchel, one of the hosts of the show, who absolutely looked like his face was turned into a fire pot, and it was really, let's just say, capped off a very disappointing Oilers season. Good to see that he didn't break his leg. Saw that with Stamkos. Took a long time for him to battle back from it after doing it twice. I think it was twice is where he hurt it. So, McDavid seems healthy as long as he does the rehab properly. It should not cause him any problems going forward. Justin, last thing I wanted to bring up before we go up to a 3-up, 3-down with baseball before we conclude tonight's show. The Draft Lottery. We did talk about it briefly on the show Wednesday, but we did save it for a couple minutes here on tonight's show. Or today's afternoon show, sorry, as I should say here from North Superior. It's currently 2:40 in the afternoon. New Jersey Devils. The New York Rangers and the Chicago Blackhawks. Almost said the Los Angeles Kings. I apologize. Taylor Hall. Seems like if you play for his team, you get a first overall pick, but you obviously don't make the playoffs if you get the first overall pick. Colorado Avalanche don't get the first overall pick. Ottawa Senator fans are very ecstatic about that. Very, very excited, I'm sure. But Chicago moving up a whole bunch, over 10 spots. The Rangers moving up as well. Were you thrilled about that draft lottery? That was one of the more. I was excited when Matthews was Well, sorry, he didn't get drafted yet, but the Leafs won the draft lottery. That was exciting. But all the movement that happened in this draft, we haven't really seen that much movement in a draft lottery.
No, it's been a long time. I mean, it would have been nice to see that kind of moving and shaking in one of the Edmonton years, so that those players didn't get destroyed and have their careers ruined. No, it was interesting. I mean, it's nice. Maybe they get the Devils, get a first-round pick, first overall pick, put them in that roster with Taylor Hall and what they got going on there. I don't think the Devils are that far away from being a good team, and I think this might push them a little further than anyone thinks.
Jack Hughes? Is it going to be Jack Hughes?
Maybe it might be. It could be. Like it's a real toss-up right now. I think this throws all the speculation totally out the window now, and everyone's kind of got to look at where the picks fall now and see where players fit going forward. I mean, Jack Hughes is a really tempting player to take, but imagine he falls to, Chicago at 3.
Or can New Jersey trade this? People are going to say no, they're not. And I don't think, imagine though they can go up to New York or Chicago and prize some of their prospects and also get that and move down 1 or 2 spots and still have the capability of drafting Capo Caco. Right? Or there's a lot of potential you can make moves with. I don't think they're going to do that. I think they are going to go Hughes. I think they're going to take him because then you have Hischier and Hughes as your 1-2 center for the future. They'd be foolish not to do that. Or you can have Capo Caco if you really want to go that way. But if the New Jersey Devils got an offer from the Chicago Blackhawks, Strome, for their first, for your first, and then maybe a third, and then another, and from your guy, maybe you do that. But I can't see Chicago trading Dylan Strome after how strong he was in Chicago. But just saying, there could be a lot of movement at the draft. I think there's going to be trades. No, I don't think the first overall pick is going to get traded. I don't even think the second is. But from the end of the third, Stan Bowman looks adamant about picking that third pick, especially after having dreams about having the third overall pick. I think from the 5th pick down is where you're going to see a lot of trades and a lot of movement. And don't be surprised if Toronto tries to move their second round pick to get a bunch of seconds or a bunch of thirds. I think there's going to be so much movement in the draft going into the offseason. It's going to be exciting. Where do you think New Jersey's going to go? Are they going to trade it or keep it? And if they keep it, who are they drafting? My pick is Jack Hughes. Justin, that's our hockey portion here of the show. I'm quickly just going to jump into baseball for a minute or two here before we conclude. Now, the Blue Jays, are as expected right now. They're well under 500. They had a good series against the Boston Red Sox, who are also well under 500, which is surprising. They're playing against the Tampa Bay Rays tonight. The Toronto Blue Jays are a young team. They're 4-10. They lost to Tampa yesterday. Tampa's 11-3. Great start to the season for the Rays. No one should be surprised about the Jays. First point. Am I right? No one should be doubting that and now you're talking about trading Sanchez and Stroman and making these trades and doing all this stuff. Very bold decisions. Blue Jays, is it going to be an even longer season for Jays fans, or can they try to get to 500 this year, or are they going to be well under it?
I think the Jays are going to be well under it, Dave. I don't know. They're rough. That's I don't have much else to add to that. They're a pretty bad baseball team right now, trading their entire roster.
They are, and now with the Blue Jays being where they're at, one day we will be back, and I think in a couple years everything will be back to normal. Second point, Freddy Galvis called out the umpires, saying that they talk at the at-bats. Listen, I play men's league baseball. Yes, that happens. But in the professional leagues, I think it does happen too. How can the league address that? Do you think the umps should keep their mouth shut when they're at bat? Do you think it should be silent and everything? Or do you even believe Freddy Galvis?
I don't know. I think this is something out of nothing. I really do. I mean, players and officials always talk. If you don't like it, then keep your mouth shut too. You know what I mean?
And just focus on the game, 100%. Now, you look at teams that have had a hot start this year. The Mariners, 13-3. Those Mariners are looking pretty good. Let me tell you, the Rays, as I mentioned, Tigers 8-5. The young team, everyone doubted, it's looking pretty solid. The Mets 9-4, Phillies 8-4. That division's tight between the Mets, Phillies, Braves, and Nationals. My God, that's going to be the most competitive division, I think, in baseball this year. Cubs starting off the year 5-8. Still baseball. You got lots of games left. You got well over 150 games to go, so you got lots to go. The Padres 10-5, buddy. Padres, San Diego, been craving a winning team. They're being very successful right now. Are the Padres been leading the way right now well early into season, 15 games in. So baseball is fully underway. Had my points, talk about the Jays, talk about Freddie Galvis, and my third point there was updating you about the standings and the hot teams. Hot teams, in my opinion, are the Mariners. I'm liking what the Mariners are doing. Encarnacion is looking good in Seattle. Everything is just looking very fitting in Seattle. Watch out for those Mariners going forward the rest of the year. And the pitching of the Mets, got to always be wary of that, but you got to watch out. Those Phillies are going to explode anytime soon. Bryce Harper looking like he's fitting in there, and he fit in nice when he returned to Washington, hitting the home run and silencing the faithful in Washington. It's the Game Sports Show. David McCaig, your host, alongside co-host Justin Hykel. Now, Justin, going to get to the conclusion portion here of the show. I want to say thank you to you for coming on by. Dane was unable to make it due to a family event, a family issue that was going on, so he's not here to be able to do the show. We are not sure. I know he doesn't go back to Red Lake until next weekend. We'll see if we can squeeze him on for a phone recording, do something before he leaves, give him a nice little sign off. However, I want to say thank you to you for being here tonight on a Saturday on the Game Sports Show. We will be at Icebreakers on Tuesday. We'll have John Parko coming by as well there, and we're going to be covering hopefully the Hounds force a Game 7. And the rest of the week, going into next week, we have a show Wednesday from Sports Center Bar and Grill, and Thursday here at Northern Superior Brewing Company. We shall be back to the regular times. And yes, we do have a show Monday for the Wicked Sister as well. All 4 shows planned. We will update you if any cancellations occur. And make sure you follow our social media pages, Facebook and Instagram, to keep up to date with the Twins, who's only local, regional, and national sports show. I want to thank you to Scott Nason, our board operator tonight. I want to thank you to you, the listeners, making us a part of your night. You have a lot of local events that you can go watch in terms of hockey with the Thunderbirds and Hounds. Make sure you go do that. Also, the Mayor's Cup going on. You can go watch that at the Soo Pee Wee. Lots of good hockey there with some older pro guys and some washed-up guys, a.k.a. Dave being the washed-up guy. Being one of those guys there. I'm not the pro. Definitely not the pro. Justin, now going over to you. I want to say thank you for coming by, my friend, and I will see you next week.
Good time as always, Dave. I'll be here, and go Leafs go Hounds go, and go Thunderbirds.
Lots of good sports going on indeed, and we've been here live from the tap room from Northern Superior Brewing Company. And Justin, this segment to this point has been 23:39. We are under the hour. Producer Ghost is absolutely loving us right now here for keeping in the time constraints that we can never do too often. And as I mentioned, 4 shows this week. Keep an eye on our social media pages and all the uploads for that, and make sure you get your asses to the seats to support the local hockey scene here in Sault Ste. Marie. Now it's Dave McCaig here from Northern Superior, reminding you listeners, until next time, keep your stick on the ice, swing your bat, catch your touchdown, drain your threes, and shoot your shots. Booyah.